everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm talking about the 10 books that I need to read before 2020. So I made a video like this last year and I thought I would do it again this year and talk about 10 books that I want to read before the end of 2019. These 10 books are books that I need to read in the last 2 months. I don't want to bring them into 2020 with me. I want to have read them in 2019. So in the last 2 months of the year, I hope to read all 10 of these books. Some of these I did kind of talk about in my end of year book tag, which I'll link down below if you want to check it out. But the rest are other ones that I just need to read before the end of the year. So I kind of have a variety of everything. I have some contemporary romance, I have a couple of YA books, I have some fantasy, historical romance. I kind of have a variety of stuff that I want to read before the end of the year. Some of these I have mentioned a lot during this entire year. Like some of these books I had on some TBR videos for some readathons that I never ended up reading. So a lot of these I have mentioned before, so I'm sorry if this video is such a repeat or me just kind of talking about the same books that I need to read. I wanted to make this video and these are books that I desperately do need to read before 2020. And none of these are in like any particular order. So the first book that I have on this list is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I would really love to read this before the end of the year. As I've said before, I'm not huge into historical romance. I find it's a genre that I'm very confused by in the fact that there's so much out there. It's hard to pick what I actually want to read. This is a newer release. I believe this came out in August or September. And it does sound like something I want to read, and I've heard really good things about it and really good reviews. I believe this is Hate to Love. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm very excited to read this. And hopefully this will help me get more into the genre a little bit. The next book is Don't Doubt by Tammy Faulkner. This is book 11 in the Reed Brothers series. It came out back in August, and I don't know why I'm like hesitant to read it. It's a pretty short book. I think it's a little over 200 pages, so I don't know why I'm not jumping at the chance to read it. I love this series. I have read all of the books, so I don't know why I'm just hesitant to read this one. This whole series just follows a family of brothers and then like, you know, a founded family kind of. I don't actually know who this book follows, but I think it's like more of like extended family. But this is another book that I need to read ASAP. The next book I have on my list is The Prenup by Lauren Lane. I love Lauren Lane, and I don't know why I haven't read this book yet. I think I'm a little scared because Lauren Lane said this was like her favorite book that she's written. She said it was like her best book that she's written. I think one person on her team said this was like the best book she's ever written. And so I'm really scared to read it because I love Lauren Lane. I've read pretty much all of her books. I'm scared I'm not gonna love it that much, but I hope I love it. This is the tagline. My name is Charlotte Spencer, and 10 years ago I married my brother's best friend. I haven't seen him since. So they had to get married because I think the guy needed a green card, and then they kind of went their separate ways, and now 10 years later they I think want to get a divorce, but like they have to live together for a certain amount of time to get a divorce or something like that. It sounds super cute. It sounds like something I'd really love. I just need to read it. The next one is Bearing Water by Kate Tucker. This is another one that I've talked about several times that I need to read. If you're new to my channel, I am in the process of trying to read all of Kate Tucker's books in publication date order. This is the next one that I have to read. I clearly haven't read it yet. I've talked about this, I feel like, for an entire year, that I need to read it, that I need to get on it. I think I'm a little hesitant because not a lot of people talk highly about this series, and I think it's more of like a mystery romance. It's not so much like a contemporary romance. Like I think it has more of a mystery element to it. I'm kind of scared, but I just need to like bite the bullet and do it because I loved the 10 Tiny Breaths series, so I just need to get on with this so that I can continue because I saw the cover for her newest book that comes out in March. What is it called? Wild at Heart, I think. It's the sequel to one of her other books that I've heard amazing things about, and I just like I want to catch up. I want to catch up so I can read that one as well. That one comes out in March. Can I read all of her books by March? maybe. Yeah, I have like extra incentive to read this, so I need to read it. The next one I would like to read is Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss by Casey West. I always enjoy Casey West's books, and I have a feeling I'm going to love this one. I'm not exactly sure what this is about. I think it has to do with famous people and two co-stars who fall in love or something. Sounds super cute. Sounds like something I'd really love. So I need to get on this one as well. Now, for the next one, I'm kind of cheating because I technically have 2 books in my hands. But that is my 2 Mia Sheridan books. I would love to read both of these. Again, specifically this one, I have talked about for probably like a year and a half. That I need to read it, that I haven't read it, that like I need to get on it. Let's pray and hope that I actually freaking read this, because I'm tired of saying that I'm gonna read it and not actually read it. I need to read it. I need to read it soon. And I'd love to read this one too, because I just might as well read both of her books that I own. That way I can keep reading all of her books, but I would love to read both of these before 2020. I better do it because I'm going to be so disappointed in myself if I don't. The next one is, again, one I also mentioned in my end of year book tag, and that is Candy Steiner. I would love to read one of her books before the end of the year. I know I said I was going to read A Love Letter to Whiskey, but you guys constantly keep telling me that like it's a frustrating book. And I don't know if I'm like in the mind frame to read something super frustrating. So I think I'm gonna go with On the Rocks. I feel like I'm really gonna love On the Rocks. I think that's the one I'm gonna start with, to be honest. I believe this is like a forbidden romance kind of, I think. I'm not exactly sure. I read the synopsis once and I was like, yeah, adding it to my TBR. But I want to read it. So hopefully I read this one soon. The next one that I want to read before 2020 is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I read Colty back in September and absolutely loved it. So I definitely want to read another one of her books before the end of the year. And The Wall of Winnipeg and Me sounds like another book that I would really, really love. And this is actually, like, I was tossing up between reading Colty first and this one. And now that I've read Colty, I now want to read this one. I believe this is fake dating with a football star and like his assistant. I think it sounds super cute and it sounds like something I'd really, really love. So I really want to read this one as well. The next one that I want to read is Ghosts of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Link, and Robin Wasserman. This is a collection of novellas for the Shadowhunter world, and you guys know I love the series and I will continue to read all of the Shadowhunter books. Anything that Cassandra Clare puts out in this world, I will continue to read for probably the rest of my life. Like, I'm just so emotionally attached to this world and all these characters, but I still haven't read this yet, and I need to read it because it does feature Jem and Tessa. I love them, and I definitely want to read this before the first book in the Lost Hours comes out. Isn't it like Chain of something? Chain of Gold. I want to read this before Chain of Gold comes out. I need to read this soon as possible. It's just massive, but I'm excited to dive back into this world. And the last book that I have on this list that I would love to get to before 2020 is Rebel by Marie Lu. This is the 4th book in the Legend series. I believe it's like the last book that kind of wraps everything together. I think Marie Lu plunges readers back into the unforgettable world of Legend for a truly grand finale. So yeah, this is the last book in the series. I remember when Champion came out and like a lot of us were so heartbroken by the ending and we just wanted more, and I believe like this is the more that we're getting. I've heard amazing things about this and I've heard that it wraps up the series really well. I definitely do miss these characters and I want to see what they're up to and I want to see how their story ends. So those were all the books that I hope to read before the end of 2019. Let me know some books that you hope to read before the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!